Good afternoon, Fantasy Bay. Mike Williams here with another Week 8 game preview. And today we're going to be going over the Broncos versus the Colts. So let's get it started. The over-under for this game is 42, and the spread is -5.5 for the Colts. So we're going to start off with the Broncos today because this is going to be a pretty quick one. So nobody's starting Joe Flacco. Let's be real. Let's be honest. He's pretty washed. Emmanuel Sanders has been traded to the 49ers, so don't have to cover him. Courtland Sutton, I think this gives him a very big boost, and I think he should play well this week going against the Colts. They are 11th against the wide receiver position, allowing 25 fantasy points a game. We have Courtland Sutton averaging 15.6. That's 16th in the league, and I think that increases. I have him as a wide receiver 2 this week for sure. Philip Lindsay. Oh, I also think their backup actually steps up a little bit. Deshaun Hamilton, I think he steps up with Emmanuel Sanders being gone. So next we're going to go to running backs. Philip Lindsay, man, 4 points last week. That really hurt. He still ranks 18th in the league on fantasy points per game with 14.5. But, man, 4 points. That was absolutely awful. Prior to that, though, he was pretty decent. 15, 24, and then 6. Meh. He's already had 4 touchdowns this year. That's 7th in the league. That's pretty solid. But the Colts are pretty good against the running back. They are the 6th best running back. They're 6th best against the run. Excuse me. They're 6th best against the running back, only allowing 15.9 fantasy points a game. I think that if you're going to start one of the two out of him and Royce Freeman, you're going to start Philip Lindsay, but don't sleep on Royce Freeman. My man's been slowly creeping up. 16 fantasy points per game last week. The week before that, 12. Before that, 8. Then 8. Pretty solid. Averaging about 3.4 receptions a game. That's about one more than Philip Lindsay. Pretty solid. He's also averaging 70 rushing yards a game. You like that. Philip Lindsay's averaging about 82. But I actually think they're both quasi-playable. I would take Philip Lindsay over Royce Freeman. Royce Freeman would be more of a high-end flex play, whereas Philip Lindsay is more of a wide receiver or running back 2. I'm not playing Noah Fantastic, sorry. And neither am I playing the Denver defense. All right, so let's go over to the Colts. Jacoby Brissett has been on fuego, averaging 19.6 fantasy points a game. That ranks 10th in the league. He also has he had 326 yards last week, which is pretty solid. He normally doesn't get that high, but pretty solid. He's ranked 21st against the passing yards. So let's get I actually think he's playable. I didn't clarify that. I think that Jacoby Brissett is definitely playable. Top 12 play this week, if not high-end quarterback 2. T.Y. Hilton is a must-play. I'm not going to go too much into that other than the fact that he's great. He's very fast, very talented, averaging 18.1 points a game. That's 5th in the league. You start T.Y. Hilton. If you need a start, you can also start Zach Pascal. I have him as a wide receiver 3, though, but I do think that he could possibly give you a solid game. Even though the Broncos are decent against the wide receiver, they are ranked 6th against the wide receiver. It's very solid, only allowing 18.8 fantasy points a game to the wide receiver, but I still think T.Y. has a decent game. All right, let's go to running backs. I think you can start Marlon Mack, of course. He's a top 20 running back this year. He's averaging 13.5 fantasy points a game. I think he's very solid, and you can start him against the Broncos, who are middle of the pack against the running back position, allowing almost 19 fantasy points a game. All right. Eric Ebron, I think, is a good flyer. You never know with him. He is he's a touchdown-dependent kind of guy, but that touchdown last week, the toe tap, that was phenomenal. All right, and I think that's going to do it. If you have any questions, don't forget to hit me up. Mike Williams, Fantasy Bay. You should like and subscribe, and check out my social media below. Good luck, Fantasy Bay. I'm out.